4. And now at this moment, actually at lap 12, of segment 4, which would have been lap 87, Kurt Busch's lead grows to 2.78. Kevin Harvick moves to second place at lap 13 of segment 4, which was lap 88 in total. And then you had a new top 3 at lap 88, or lap 13 of segment 4. Kurt Busch, Kevin Harvick, and Denny Hamlin, the 41, the 4, and the 11. But Kurt Busch holds a 2.43 second lead in lap 14 of segment 4 over Kevin Harvick, and that grew to a 2.59 second lead during lap 16 of segment 4, which is lap 91, and then that grew, it went to 2.59 and then dropped down to a 2.10 at lap 94. Segment 4 finishes up at 10:56. Winner Kurt Busch this time in the 41 car. So now somehow or another, Denny Hamlin wound up taking the lead, but they had the race on. Keselowski, he had a very good average finish, and he wound up having to start at the rear of the field because he was a couple miles over the 45 mile per hour speed limit on pit road. Coming out of pit road, hit that last sensor, and they had to send him to the back of the field. You had a race off pit road, and this is during lap 100 after the red flag goes out. Race off a pit road, the 11, the 2, the 41, the 4, the 5, the 24, the 47, the 15, the 1, and the 16, the 19, the 18, the 20, the the 11, the 2, the 41, the 4, the 5, the 24, 19, 22, 20, 18, 48, 88, then the 47, 15, 1, 6, 43, 31, 14. And the race off pit road is a big deal. Now, obviously, they're not racing for points during All-Star race, but you do gain points if you're coming out of that pit road and you win that race off pit road. You get some nice points for that. So then you get the shootout, which is segment 5. A quick 10-lap, trip around the track. Segment 5, 10 laps. The shootout started at 11:10 p.m. Eastern. All right, and segment 5 finished up at. Let's see, I don't have the finish time on here. I thought I had it written down, but unfortunately I don't. But the Denny Hamlin wins the shootout segment, winning segment 5, and ultimately becomes the winner of the All-Star race. First All-Star win for Joe Gibbs Racing, and first All-Star win for Toyota, and then, of course, also brings home a nice $1 million. So there is that. Now, normally we do the lead track segment at this time, but we don't have the lead track. No, we're gonna skip the lead track segment this week. Next week we'll be back in full force, back to business as usual, and next week will be show number 16 of the Racing Podcast as we head into week 16 of NASCAR. So today, let's see, I got some little interesting factoids about NASCAR. We'll talk about that a little bit later. Oh, and you want to talk about some of the edible delights that they have at Charlotte Motor Speedway. We'll talk about that as well during the final stretch segment. So we'll take a quick break and regroup, and we'll be back, and we will go over the racing schedule coming up next. This is RP. Stay tuned. Alright, right, welcome back, everybody, to the Racing Podcast. The Racing Podcast can be heard at Spreaker.com. New broadcast time at 7:45. So just let you know about that. Spreaker.com, #sports. You can also catch it on demand at apodradio.com as well. Also at Spreaker, on demand as well at Spreaker.com as well. Thank you to all the listeners. Getting some good hits on the Spreaker, especially on Sunday, which is good news because as a podcaster, you get a lot of, especially for the racing podcast, we're really getting a lot of hits on Sunday, or I should say race day, which is good because the ultimate goal of the racing podcast is to get you up to date what's going on, and of course the most important, the racing schedule, because you don't want to miss any races, right? I know I don't. I missed one already, Texas, but I did see it on YouTube, man, which is pretty cool. So this weekend, okay, you have a whole bunch of racing this weekend. Okay, you have NASCAR, which goes for week number 2 at Charlotte this weekend. No trucks this week. They return next weekend. In fact, next weekend, everybody heads to the Monster Mile, Dover. There is Xfinity Sprint Cup this weekend. You have some Formula 1 action this weekend, the Monaco Grand Prix, and some IndyCar action this weekend, the Indianapolis 500. So we'll go over the NASCAR schedule, and then we'll go over Monaco and the Indianapolis 500. All right, so Charlotte Motor Speedway, one more time for the second week, located at 5555 Concord Parkway South. Okay, Concord, North Carolina, 28027, capacity 135,000. Quad oval, surface is asphalt, length 1.5 miles, number of turns 4. Bankings at the corners at 24 degrees, and at the straightaways it is 5 degrees. So Saturday is this weekend's Xfinity event, Saturday, May 23rd at 2:30 p.m. Eastern on Fox and PRN. It's the Hisense 300 with 200 laps scheduled. Then Sunday is this week's Sprint Cup event, the longest race in the NASCAR circuit. Sunday, May 24th at 6 o'clock p.m. on Fox and PRN. It's the Coca-Cola 600 with 400 laps scheduled, and both races from Charlotte. But on Sunday, before the Coca-Cola 600, you have the Monaco Grand Prix and the Indy 500. So first, the Monaco Grand Prix. Now, it's Sunday, May 24th at 7:30 a.m. Okay, very important. It's in the a.m. I know everybody knows that, but just want to make sure. Okay, so Sunday, May 24th at 7:30 a.m. on NBC, it's the 2015 Monaco Grand Prix at the Circuit de Monaco, and there are 78 laps scheduled. And the interesting factoid that the Monaco Grand Prix has been running since 1929. And then, of course, you have some IndyCar action on Sunday, May 24th at 12 noon Eastern. And this is on ABC. It's the 2015 Indianapolis 500 from Indianapolis Motor Speedway, located at 4790 West 16th Street, Indianapolis, Indiana, 46222. Surface, asphalt, and brick, of course, the famous Brickyard. Length is 2.5 miles. Number of turns is 4. Bankings at the corners is 9 degrees, 12 minutes. And at the straights, it's 0. Lap record, 37.895 seconds at 237.498 miles per hour. Eric Lundick, Treadway Racing, 1996 IRL IndyCar Series. Okay, now 2.5 miles at 37.895 seconds. Think about that for a minute, okay? There's also a 2.439 mile Grand Prix road course. And NASCAR heads to Indianapolis on the weekend of July 25th and 26th. So just to let you know about that. All right. So what we're going to do now, take a quick break, and then we'll come back and we'll go over the driver standings. It's the driver standings segment next. RP. Welcome back, everybody, to the Racing Podcast. I would like to take a moment to invite you to check out the all-new Community Radio. And I know you've heard me talking about it for a while. And the original plan was to do a podcast with just music, and we were going to call it Community Radio. So what happened was that we actually got set up with Live 365, and instead of a podcast, it's actually a radio station. Yes, a radio station. Runs 24/7, home of the Music Machine. Now, you got to get to Live 365 if you have the Live 365 app, okay? And keyword is radio, and you have to look for the Community Radio logo. You'll see the yellow rectangle with the lighthouse, and you hit that, and then you got some music. So we got a little country, a little southern rock, some bluegrass, a little bit of everything. Just some chill out music where you can just hang, get yourself a beverage in the backyard, and just some nice. So far, it's been very good, and we got listeners from New York, New Jersey, Connecticut, Pennsylvania, Georgia, California, Russia. So now I was gonna do it on Spreaker, but I was a little nervous with the music license, and with the service we have now, we actually have we get covered from all 4 of the licensing bureaus, so we can play music without getting any trouble. So we're gonna stick with Spreaker for talk radio because it's working, and then Live 365 for Community Radio, and it's Community Radio LI, home of the Music Machine, on Live 365, keyword radio. And of course, you can catch the family of podcasts right here at Spreaker.com, including the Racing Podcast at Spreaker, using hashtag sports. Alright, so let's get to it. Driver standing segment. You know how it goes by now. So let's get snap into action, as they say. Or as the Brits would say, let's get cracking. So Sprint Cup driver standings top 10 as follows. First place, Kevin Harvick in the number 4 car, 437 points, current leader. Second place is Martin Truex Jr. in the 78 car, 391 points and 46 points back. Third place is Jimmy Johnson in the 48 car, 389 points and 48 points back. Joey Logano is in 4th place in the 22 car, 375 points and 62 points back. Dale Earnhardt Jr. sits in 5th place in the 88 car, 360 points and 77 points back. 6th place is Burt Keselowski. He's in the number 2 car with 343 points, 94 points back. Matt Kenseth in 7th place in the number 20 car with 331 points, 106 points back. 8th place is Jim McMurray in the number 1 car, 328 points and 109 points back. 9th place, Jeff Gordon in the 24 car, 317 points, 120 points back. And in 10th place is Casey Kane in the number 5 car, 313 points, 124 points back. Oh, and manufacturer stand. So from 11th to 15th place in order, Sprint Cup driver standing continues. From 11th to 15th place in order, Aric Almirola with 312 points, Paul Menard with 306, Ryan Newman 305, Kurt Busch with 292, and Denny Hamlin with 284. From 16th to 20th place in order, Clint Bowyer with 272 points, Danica Patrick with 270, Carl Edwards with 265, AJ Allmendinger with 259, and Casey Mears with 242. 21st through 25th place in order, Greg Biffle with 242 points, Kyle Larson with 237, David Reagan with 235, Ricky Stenhouse Jr. with 227, Austin Dillon with 225. Manufacturers stand